Yeah. All right. We are live on YouTube. How is everyone doing today? It's about 61 degrees. So it's chilly, but not incredibly chilly. It's chilly enough for me to have a jacket on and one layer underneath. But I gotta say, as we head into the last week of November, sunny 61-degree weather after having several days of rain here in the San Francisco Bay Area is quite pleasant. That makes me very happy, and that's the topic of today's show. Welcome to Navigating the Modern World with Eli, the Walking with Purpose Live edition. Live from the San Francisco Bay Trail here at Bear Island in beautiful, sunny Redwood City, California. This is episode number 878. Wow, 878 of these. This is also day 24 of the GNA membership drive. GNA is short for Genuine Networking Association, an organization I founded all the way back in 2011. We used to run in-person networking events, and we plan on doing that in the future again. We've focused on helping entrepreneurs find their next power partners and possible clients, and there's the woman of every hour. Hey, babe, respectfully, maturely, professionally. Oh, no, that's not you. That's Hot Facts with Robert Reese. Oh, I'm sorry, man. Hot Facts with Robert Reese. I thought you were my girl, man. Oh, God. What's going on, Robert? LOL. Yeah, dude, hey. No one's perfect, right, Robert? No one is perfect. I'm far from that. I've never claimed to be perfect. But yeah, my lady was just about to take a nap before I left the house to come out to the trail, so she probably won't be here today. She'll be here in spirit. But yeah, so the GNA, short for Genuine Networking Association, we, initially we were helping entrepreneurs learn to become better entrepreneurs, or people that worked a W-2 job in the corporate world or for somebody else transition into becoming a self-employed entrepreneur like myself. We also helped entrepreneurs connect with and find their next power partners and possible clients, creating a very large referral base of trusted people here in Northern California where I live. So the GNA ran events all over Northern California, not just the San Francisco Bay Area. We also ran events in the Central Valley area, even in the town of Modesto, where the Scott Peterson case took, that's where Scott Peterson murdered his wife, Lacey, and their unborn child in Modesto. Now, that case happened before I was networking there. That case was a long time ago. But I used to network in the Central Valley area, Stockton, Tracy, Modesto, Lodi, Elk Grove. For those of you that know Northern California, you know the area. And if you're from if you're from outside of the area, you probably know the areas. Also, we also networked in the greater Sacramento area, in the city of Sacramento, and in the suburbs, in cities like Auburn, cities like I can't remember the cities right now. It's been a while. I'm not remembering the names of the cities. El Dorado Hills, Citrus Heights. That's right, El Dorado Hills, Citrus Heights, and other cities in Sacramento. We had probably one of our biggest networks in the Sacramento area, the greater Sacramento area, because it was interesting. There were so many more entrepreneurs there than even here in the San Francisco Bay Area. And I think the reason was somebody told me out there, because there are more industry jobs in the Sacramento area than corporate type of jobs. And so sometimes it was hard for people to find work or work that they wanted to do. So I don't know what to think about that, but that's what I was told. But now the GNA, and also back then the GNA was helping people with their personal development. We helped people get over their fear of public speaking, because we would all do presentations of our businesses. At each one of our events, we had one presentation. And some people did the whole entire GNA tour all over Northern California and spoke at, most, if not all, of our chapters. At one point, we had over 10 chapters of the GNA, or a little more than 10 chapters. And I would also pretty much, I think I recorded every single video. I recorded every single presentation, and between my original YouTube channel, the Elias Melas channel, it's still up today at youtube.com/eliasmelas. I started that for my insurance business. My original insurance video is on there of when I first got licensed. But also, I started putting videos of our public speakers and other events that GNA ran. And then I created, in 2015, the Genuine Networking Association, or GNA for short, YouTube channel. And I started to put some events out there. But most of the events are on the Elias Melas, the original Elias Melas YouTube channel from 2009. That's my oldest actual channel on YouTube. Even though I've been on YouTube pretty much since it came out, I believe in 2005. My first channel goes back to 2009, which is what? Over 15, almost 16 years of history. Yeah. But, yeah. If you'd like to join the GNA, I'm still working on creating some aspects on the website where I'll have a landing page for people to take the Positivity Pledge, the GNA Positivity Pledge, and to also enter their email address to be able to get emails occasionally from us regarding what we do, and you can choose whether you want to participate on those aspects or not, or regarding those aspects or not. We're not going to overly spam you. We'll send you occasional emails. I'm still working on that. But in the meantime, please just come over here. Send people here to both of our main channels. Now, we still have the original GNA channel still active. We just are not using it right now. We will be using it more so in the future. We will probably not monetize that channel. Reason being is because a lot of the videos that were taken at some restaurants where we did public speaking gigs, there was copyrighted music on in the background. And a lot of those videos, not a lot, but I'd say more than half of them got copyright claimed. So, I never plan on monetizing the original Elias Melas channel or the original GNA channel, but we will use that channel for other things. And we're working on that, behind the scenes. Some of the GNA executives, myself, my girlfriend Dawn, Tia, and Sandra Palacio, we are working on those things and have been working on those things behind the scenes. So the way you join is just come over here to GNA2, Genuine Life Personal Development, and subscribe, bang the bell, select all notifications, then go below in the description and click the link to subscribe to the main channel, GNA, Genuine Personal Development. That's our pre-recorded channel, but for right now, until the end of the year, on the main channel, I'm doing live streams from the studio there. Now, if you go to the main channel first, do it the opposite. It's pretty simple, right? Subscribe there, bang the bell, select the notifications, then go to the description and click the link to come here to GNA 2. And then subscribe, bang the bell, select the notifications, and you're all good. You're all good in the hood. Right, Robert? You're all good in the hood. So, yeah. That is that. Whew, man. I haven't done a Walking with Purpose stream in almost a week. Now, I've been doing walks, other walks with myself and my girlfriend, and we've been going out and doing other things, and we've been walking, around a lot. So I still have been getting my exercise in, but this is the first official walk on the channel since last Sunday. So it's great to be back. It's fantastic to be back. Look at that sun. I mean, that's absolutely gorgeous. It's glistening in the water over there. I mean, it's a little chilly. It's probably about 60 degrees right now, but the air is smelling fresh. We had some rain, so the rain cleared out, a lot of the smog and dirty air, and whew, man, this is fantastic. This is absolutely fantastic. So today, I'm going to be talking about what happiness means to me. I'm going to be defining what happiness means to me. And if we get some people here in the chat, you can ask, your questions, and I'll selectively choose relevant questions to respond to, and other relevant questions. You know how it goes around here. I don't have to tell you. But, and that's the way it goes all over YouTube. I'll selectively respond to valid and decent questions. But, yeah, happiness to me, defining happiness to me. Like I've always said in the past, my definition of happiness is based primarily on how I feel about myself deep within. Because if I'm not feeling good about myself, then how am I going to show up? I'm going to show up distraught. I'm going to show up angry. I'm going to show up bitter. I'm going to show up not at my best. And, no matter, how happy I may want to be, or even if I feel I'm feeling happy, the way I'm coming off is unhappy because I'm lying to myself when I think I'm feeling happy. Sometimes people don't feel happy deep within. I've struggled with that in the past. Now, even in current times, I struggle with it every now and then as well. I've gotten better at dealing with it, and I struggle a lot less regarding self-love nowadays. And when I'm feeling days where I struggle to have self-love, it's temporary, it's quick. It's more like having a moment of uncertainty, right? And in my opinion, uncertainty about the future, is going to affect many people in many different ways, including a lack of self-love. Now, like I've talked about in the past, and it's been a while since I've talked about male and female relationship dynamics. Okay? But beyond what anyone else may think, the truth of the matter is that men and women respond to everything biologically differently. And I'm talking about men and women at a normal level. So for this example purpose, I'm going to exclude men that act like beta female dogs. Let's just call it that. Let's be nice today. Let's not use the B word, okay? And I'm also going to exclude women out there that behave more masculine and act like men. This example is for men that are considered to be masculine men and for women that are considered to be feminine women, right? Because some men have more feminine traits than masculine traits, and some women have more masculine traits than feminine traits. Okay? But let's just talk about the average, everyday, normal, decent, down-to-earth man and woman. Men and women respond to things differently. Women, at a natural and biological level, respond to everything emotionally first, based on how they're feeling in the present moment, and then they might reason with logic afterwards. And that is perfectly, absolutely normal for every woman to a certain extent. Now, some women take it a bit too far, and that makes a normal situation abnormal. But within reason, women responding to everything emotionally first, based on how they're feeling in the present moment, is perfectly normal and healthy for them. A normal man is going to respond to everything first logically, by thinking logically and saying, okay, I'm in this situation, right? What should I do? Now, sometimes certain situations people put you in life, and it could be any situation, make you feel like you want to react. And that's what women do normally. But for men, the normal way to react to it biologically is to not let it get to you, to not let it throw you off your center, to not let it bring you down. You are the rock, right? And if you have a girlfriend or a wife and you don't handle this properly and you're not the rock, you're going to be displaying more feminine energy than masculine energy, and then your woman is going to be turned off by that because she's not going to be able to trust your masculine core because you're behaving more feminine. She's not going to be able to trust your masculine core that you're going to be able to protect her and defend her should she ever fear any danger, or should she ever be in any dangerous situation. So again, men and women respond to everything biologically differently. Now give me a second to catch my breath here. Man. Ah, beautiful, beautiful. Now, anything can affect someone's happiness. So anything can affect your mood, which affects your happiness, right? For me, I've learned to not sweat the small stuff. And I've also learned to focus on the bigger picture. And to be very honest with you folks, it's still a learning process. Even the best self-help, personal development people like myself or others that do what I do, even the best of us that are very experienced, we still go through things. We still have moments. We still are going to make mistakes at times. It happens. Life is a daily learning process. But if there's one thing that I've learned that has helped always push me forward is the fact that even though we're going to always make mistakes, no matter how old and experienced we get, right? Our goal is to just get better, a little better each and every day. Our goal is to get just a little bit better each and every day, meaning that the more and more we make mistakes, especially if they're a similar type of mistake, eventually we should learn from that mistake or those mistakes if they've been repetitive. And then in the future, because we've made those mistakes so many times and we've actually learned to identify them, while they're potentially about to happen in the future, you can identify them and stop them dead in their tracks and just not react. Right? Like for me, past mistakes I've made, right? Some of those mistakes have had consequences, right? And if I don't want to face those same consequences in the future, I learn to not make those same mistakes, right? So if you've made the same mistake 2 or 3 times, and then you're in a situation where you're about to make the same mistake for the 4th time, by this point, while this is happening and before you react, you should have learned to the point of where, okay, I've done this 3 other times. Here's what happened those 3 other times. And here's what it cost me. So instead of having to go through that same thing again and it costing me more, I'm just not going to react. I'm not going to say anything. Or if I do say something, I'm going to be a lot more careful in how I respond, even if I choose to respond to the situation, right? Oh, I love the planes out here. I'm a plane guy. I like watching planes. I don't like being on planes. I like watching planes. I have this channel on DirecTV because on top of the streaming services, Don and I've had DirecTV Total Choice Premier, the top package, which includes all the basic channels, all the locals, and all of the premium channels, HBO, Showtime, Cinemax, the movie channel, Stars, Showtime. Stars, I believe, has that show called Outlander, which I hear is pretty good. If anyone's seen Outlander, let me know. I'm hearing it's a worthy view. But Don and I have so many things to watch that we only want to watch things that are highly recommended, but we hear it's a good show. But so there's this channel called the Smithsonian Channel, because on top of all of that, I have the HD Extra Pack, which gives some extra channels. One of them is the Smithsonian Channel. It's a great channel. It's been around for over 20 years. It came out, I believe, right when HD became mainstream, like back in like 08 or shortly before 08. About 15 years ago or so. Maybe a little bit longer. I don't think it's been around quite 20 years, but at least 15 years. You know what the Smithsonian is, right? So they have a channel, and they have some great high-definition programming there. And I think the show is called Air America. They've been doing that show for years. And it just shows how, some planes malfunctioned and how some pilots were able to land a plane that lost all engines or both engines in a twin-engine plane. And then sometimes they crash and they do the accident investigation. Those shows are very interesting to me. So I love shows on planes. I love watching planes, but I hate flying. If I have to fly, I'll fly, but I would prefer to drive. I hate flying. Because it's like when you're up in the air, you're dependent on air traffic controllers not making a mistake where you have a mid-air collision. And I saw a show on two planes that had a mid-air collision. I saw that show last night on the Smithsonian Channel, and it wasn't the fault of the air traffic controller. The air traffic controller, because the airspace was tight, I think this was in India. The air traffic controller told one of the planes to stay at 15,000 feet and the other one at 14,000 feet. And one was going to pass right on top of the other. But instead of that happening, one of the planes made a mistake and they were descending, and there was a mid-air collision between two planes and everyone died. Like 350 something people died. That was just horrific, right? So I was just mentioning that because while I love watching planes, I love watching the Blue Angels, I'm not a big fan of being on a plane. I know it's kind of weird. Hey, you know what? There's some weird things about me, and it is what it is, right? So yeah, again, happiness stems from loving yourself deep within. And people that are truly happy will not wish harm upon anyone, even other people that may be harming them, right? Now, sometimes us good people that don't wish harm upon people or harm upon other people, even if they're harming us, right, or trying to harm us, sometimes, any human being can only take so much. And sometimes we may react or overreact a little bit to people that are trying to harm us, even though our intentions are to not harm them. And I'm here to tell you folks, that's okay. That's okay if you react every now and then. You're human. That song by the Human League in the 80s. Human. I'm only human, born to make mistakes. Ooh. One of these days, my voice is going to closely resemble the actual original, and then the YouTube Content ID system will give me a claim on my own voice. It hasn't happened yet, but who the hell knows, right? We're only human. We're born to make mistakes. Listen to the song. Google search it on YouTube if you weren't from my era. I'm 50 years old. I was born in 73. That song came out in the 80s. I'm sure many of you millennials like 80s music and you've heard it. If you're a Gen Z or Google, or even if you're Alpha generation, which is, I believe, 10 or 11 and younger, the Alpha generation is coming up too. Google search Human League. Human. The song is Human. We're only human. We're born to make mistakes. It happens, right? But the mistakes that you make should never impede on your happiness. You should never, ever let any mistakes you make prevent you from being happy. Of course, we're going to have moments of sadness. Of course. We're going to have moments of where we're going to question ourselves and say, man, what the hell is wrong with me, right? What the hell is wrong with myself? I've done that to myself. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that as long as you snap out of it fairly quickly. But if you allow it to drag you down, let's just say for more than a day, because typically, whenever I've had shitty situations where things have happened to me, people have done me wrong, or I feel they've done me wrong, right? And I felt defeated, and I just felt like I didn't want to do shit for the rest of the day. Typically, I would just go to bed early and sleep it off and wake up the next day and forget it ever happened. Typically, that's the best way to handle things, and that is normal and understood. But if you let something get to you for more than a day, and if you just can't sleep it off, at that point, you know, there may be some things that are truly above and beyond affecting you deep within, or possibly mentally or emotionally. And at that point, I would suggest that you seek out the help from a licensed professional, such as a psychologist and or a psychiatrist. I'm going to do the full trail today. All right, folks, give me a second. I'll be right back. All good. Welcome back. All good. If you're still around, Hot Facts, how's your weekend been going, man? I look forward to the next time you and I do a show together. I was very enlightened by the last show, and at some point I want to talk with you and your wife, Amelia, about possibly becoming like ambassadors of the GNA. Now, I used to call them co-chairs, chair people and co-chairs back in the days, but we're going to change that. We're going to actually call people ambassadors. There was another organization similar to mine that used to call their chapter leaders in every area that they ran an event. The chapter of that event, they used to call their leaders ambassadors. So I didn't want to copy that, so I called them, I called our leaders the chairperson of our meeting and the co-chairs. But that other organization is no longer around, and we're in a different place now. So we're going to have ambassadors of the GNA all over the world. Not just here in the U.S., but all over the world. And you, Robert, and Amelia, I saw you're posting, Amelia, on your channel. You and Robert have been together for 18 years. Congratulations on that. That is an accomplishment. That's one hell of an accomplishment. To be with the same man and the same woman for 18 years. God bless you both. Anyway. Oh, we got a lot of planes flying over. Look at how beautiful the sky looks. Wow, that's absolutely gorgeous. Man, I got to bring my Sony a6400, my professional mirrorless digital camera that I use for in-studio live streams. It's also a high quality, it's a digital camera that does videos up 4K 30 frames per second. The iPhone does up to 4K 60. I prefer 4K 60, but the cameras, when I got mine a few years back, they didn't do 4K 60 yet. Now the newer Sonys do 4K 60, but I paid $1,000 for mine. You want to get 4K 60, you're looking at least $1,500 to $2,000 for a Sony that will do that. Anyway, I should bring the camera out here and take some pictures. I mean, the iPhone does decent pictures, but nothing beats the Sony mirrorless camera. We got some people coming, so I'm going to pop off to the side because we still have time. I hope you're all enjoying this wonderful weekend. I'm definitely enjoying it. Don and I had a lot of things going on last week. A lot of things going on. And I'd say I probably lost a little bit of sleep. I still got about 6 to 7 hours of sleep a night, but it was just one thing after the other last week. You know, you have those weeks where you just have so much to do. It's just one thing after the other, after the other, after the other, right? And then everything, you finally catch up with everything. There's still more to do. There's always stuff to do, but you finally catch up with the majority of things to the point where you can just decompress and breathe a little bit, right? And it's a great feeling. And being on this trail right now is a fucking amazing feeling. It really is. It's a wonderful feeling. Wonderful. You know, there have been many times in my life, more so my younger days, where I've said this before, I'll say it again. I wasn't happy with myself. I wasn't happy with how I felt I looked. I started to go bald at a young age. And I'm not going to lie, I was very insecure about it at first. I was, because I honestly felt that me going bald in my early to mid 20s was going to affect me from attracting women. I was young and dumb and inexperienced. We all are going to go through that, right? I'm not going to lie. I'll tell you the truth. I was very insecure about me losing my hair. That made me very unhappy. It made me miserable. It destroyed my confidence. So what happened? I was working for Costco Wholesale back then, and one of the ladies there, this wasn't the lady I was interested in, and she wasn't interested in me. And the one thing I've learned is do not date people you work with. That is the best way to have issues if you break up. You could lose your job for sexual harassment or other forms of harassment. I mean, my advice is do not ever, ever, ever date anyone you work with. You are putting yourself at risk for many things. But this one woman told me, she goes, have you thought about shaving your head? You would look really good with a shaved head. I'm not saying that you look bad right now, but you should shave your head. It'd be a great look for you. And I said, you know, I don't know. Let me think about it, right? And I thought about it. I thought about it for a few months. Had she never said that, I don't know if I would have shaved my head. Maybe I probably would have at this point. I hope I would have figured it out by now. But one day, I was at home before I had to go to work. And I'm not going to go on the observation deck because there's somebody there. I want to respect their privacy and give them some space to enjoy something I've enjoyed millions of times. Always be considerate, folks, to other people's feelings, wants, and needs. But there's a plane over there. Give me a second. So one day, before work, I said, fuck it, I'm going to shave my head. I shaved my head. I used clippers, and then to get a closer shave, I used I used to use Bic back then. Now I had the Gillette Mach 3. And shortly after that, I started using the Gillette Mach 3 to do it. And that's what I use to this day. I might get something new, though, made by Remington. I saw on a commercial last night on the Smithsonian Channel It's called the bald something. It's this electric device that does a really good close shave, and the battery lasts for about a month. And I could just shave my head even every day because, once you shave your head clean, it starts to grow back a day or two later. It's still, fairly decent looking, but after maybe 3 or 4 days, it starts to grow back. So I think I'm going to get that Remington. I can't remember the full name of it. It's called the bald something. But after I started to shave my head, I went to work and I got a lot of compliments on it. But my insecurities about women accepting me were still there because my thought was that women prefer a man with hair, and many women do, but a lot of women like the bald look. I didn't know that. For the rest of my 20s and even throughout my early to mid 30s. And then even in my 40s, I've always been honest. I overcame the insecurity aspect of being bald probably in my early 30s. But, whenever I would talk with women, and primarily, I met some women in person, but the ones I would meet online, because when you're looking for something specific, it's best to go look online and you can find someone within 30 to 60 miles of where you live. Sometimes you're not going to find someone in your exact area, right? Just like I found Dawn 74 miles away. If it wasn't for Match.com, I would have never met her. And I'd be missing out on the phenomenal woman. But I started putting in my profile, I said I was honest, I'm just being honest. I want someone that knows what they want. I know what I want. Here's who I am. I have a shaved bald head. If you don't like men with shaved bald heads or you prefer hair, please skip this profile. Hey, babe, respectfully, maturely, and professionally. You like bald guys, right, baby? I'm not seeking your validation or affirmations from you, baby, but you see, what's great about these live streams on mobile, babe, there's only like a 2 to 3 second delay. The latency is very, very quick. But they're also, they're decent quality, but they're not the same quality from the studio. How you doing, babe? It's great to see you here. You woke up from your nappy? Nappy. Like nappy roots. I love bald men, she says. Well, apparently so, babe. Apparently so. It's nice to see you here, babe. Thank you for your support. Babe, you don't have to, please do not spend any money because it's our money. But do you see on your phone there, do you see the Super Chat goals? You see the new feature where it says Super Chat goals 0 of 5? My girlfriend Dawn and I will live stream together. Life is good, says my babe, my lady. Do you see the Super Chat goals there on your Android? Does it pop up? Dawn is still struggling with vision issues. We're still trying to, she has to look very, very closely, and we're still trying to figure out what's going on. We're on like a waiting list for Stanford or UCSF, a specialist. It's just been, Dawn, when she's ready and when people do the Super Chat goal thing, when we reach the goal, we'll do a stream together and talk about it. If not, we're going to wait till the new year. But if we reach one of these goals one of these days here through Super Chat goals, we'll do it sooner. And Dawn's made tremendous improvements, like just blown away. But yeah, the eye thing, we're still trying to figure out. Yes, I see it. Oh, cool, babe. Wonderful. No, she's magnified her phone. So everything is like 4 to 5 times the normal size. And I pray to God that, that we get into one of these doctors soon and her vision returns to completely normal. God bless you, babe. Love you. Wish you nothing but the best. You know that. Yeah. So, anyway, I would put in my profiles, I would list exactly what I was seeking, and I was honest about who I am. Because I would say, do not respond if you don't like bald men. Do not respond if you're not 100% ready for a relationship. Do not respond, right? Because I didn't want my time wasted with some women would respond and say, hey, Eli, thanks for reaching out, but right now I'm talking with somebody else or I'm not interested. Like, you see the notification go off on your phone, right? And then you're thinking, okay, one of the women you're interested in is interested in you, and then you go check, and it's one of those polite no's, right? Ladies, honestly, guys hate the polite no. And it's almost just best to not respond in that situation, in my opinion. Now listen, you know what? I understand. I understand why some women do that, and you know what? It's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just in this modern world, and I'm gonna actually end up doing a show on our communication styles in the modern world have changed, and this is something that I am beginning to learn more myself because I like to go on and on and on and on and on. Just ask Don. I can't shut my damn mouth up. Not because, I'm trying to just, not stop talking, because that's the way things used to be. Nowadays, you got to get to the point quicker. Got to keep it short and sweet. There are so many more options in life. There are so many more things to do. TV shows to watch, streaming services, right? Like, we're so inundated with information and other things, unlike anything we've ever seen, to the point of where you got to get to the point. And that's something I'm going to talk about on a future show. Is anyone else chatting? Well, Hot Facts with Robert Reese was here earlier, babe, but besides that, it's just you and I, and that's okay. That's okay, babe. Maybe Tia didn't get the notification, or maybe she's taking a nap. And same with Sandra, and same with the other people. It's okay, babe. In due time, the right people will come. In due time, the right people will come. And I'm not going to worry about it. And I'm sure you're not worrying about it either, but thank you for asking, though. To find true happiness, or to be truly happy, you really, really have to learn to accept everything about yourself the way you are. And you got to do that at a core level. Now, there are things that us human beings can change about ourselves. If we're overweight, we can lose weight. If we're underweight, we can gain weight, right? If we have any other cosmetic flaws, we can go see a particular doctor and fix those cosmetic flaws, right? So we can always fix things about ourselves. But regardless, we should always have self-love at our core, no matter what we look like. Short, tall, fat, skinny, right? No matter what, we should just have a default self-love. My lady says, no worries, back to my rest. Looking forward to our date night. Well, looking forward to it as well, babe. And thank you for stopping by. I love you. I appreciate you. You and I have experienced a lot in the over 3 years that we've been together. It was 3 years September, if I remember correctly, right, babe? 3 years September. I have the date on the computer and my phone, too. 3 years and 2 months. 38 months. And here's to another 3 years, you know? Love you too. Thank you, babe. And thank you for the nice heart emoji there. That's a little cutesy, feminine emoji. That's cool, babe. I love that. Thank you. Traffic is flowing smoothly on the 101. You know, I hope to, well, hang on a second. We got a plane coming in real quick. A little bit of slight wind. You can see the plane there going left, right, correcting the wind turbulence. It's not that windy, but even the slightest wind, like 5 to 10 mile an hour wind, you got to have good control of your plane. I don't know if those private jets have autopilot. They probably do have autopilot. Anyway. You know, like I was about to say, in the future, I hope to invite some people out here to the Bay Area. And hopefully we'll have enough invested in the business and the company to be able to fund it. You know, at some point we're going to turn half the GNA into a nonprofit. The other part will be a for-profit, but my focus will be more on the nonprofit. My focus is more on doing like pro bono type of work, because I feel a lot of the things that I do here, people shouldn't have to pay for. A lot of people do charge for personal development and for coaching and stuff like that. I want to be able to provide as much of this as possible for every person on the planet for either very, very little cost or no cost at all when possible. And when I say low cost, let me give you an example, like I've said before. Like sometimes we'll do some not personal, but we'll do some specialty, Skype calls or Zoom calls or Microsoft Teams calls on one of those platforms. And a lot of coaches will charge $49, $79, $99 a person, some more than that, some in the hundreds. For me, I would want to charge, depending on the situation, $9.99, $14.99, maybe even $4.99 sometimes, right? That's very, very reasonable, right? And sometimes we'll do some things for free when possible, right? For me, I'm all about doing pro bono work. that's going to help people become better people. You know, I want to do another show on this too. I was talking with Don the other day. And this situation just triggered me within myself, because I believe in morals, values, and ethics. I've made mistakes. I've said some things I didn't mean in the past, online and offline. Those were honest mistakes. I do have very strict morals, values, and ethics, but most people nowadays don't. They don't, right? I was talking with my mom the other day too, and my mom told me, she goes, your brother Chris said that, you know, for people that have money or a good amount of money, you know, Trump being in office is going to benefit them. And that triggered the shit out of me. I'll tell you why. My brother's right. My brother's right about that. Now, my brother did not vote for Trump. But what he's trying to say is that because my family bought lots of properties, you know, and, you know, the family has a decent net worth. Again, we're just putting that out there for example purposes. No one's trying to show off or anything like that, and it's not mine. I don't have any of that. But my brother's right when he says that, you know, for people that have money, Trump being in office is the best thing. And it really, really triggered the living shit out of me. You know why? I told my mom, I said, is this really all about money for him? Or for you? Or for the family? Or whatever? And she goes, no, it's just what he said. Well, that's when my brother said that, right? I said, Mom, didn't you not raise me to have good morals, values, and ethics, and to take other people's feelings, wants, and needs into consideration? She said, yeah. I said, including people. Our family is fortunate that we bought properties in the earlier days, 40, 50 years ago. And maybe we're considered more so upper middle class or upper class. But what about the middle class, the majority? Should we not give a shit about people because we're in a good place and Trump being in office will help the rich get richer, but will screw the middle class? Because the middle class not only is going to have to pay more taxes for us, but they'll have to pay for all the lower class people that are, no disrespect intended, that are either disabled and are on some kind of government assistance, right? So then I went down and I told Don. And Don was like, we're in a fortunate position. I said, I'm not saying that we're not. And this is not mine, or the estate's not mine. It's my mother's and my aunt's. I said, yes, eventually it's going to, be handed down by succession, and my brother and I will get it. But I'm not thinking about that. I was in tears. I'm not lying to you folks. I was in tears because I didn't like the fact that my brother said, well, maybe it's good that Trump's in office because it's going to help us. But we're going to fuck over 50% of the country and possibly the world, because what happens here affects everyone globally. So we're not going to give a shit about other people's feelings, wants, and needs. Only ourselves, because we happen to be in a position that benefits us from somebody that we didn't even want in office, for Christ's sake. And I was saying, babe, I cannot sell my soul for anything. I will not sell out. I would rather be broken under an overpass and not get shit from any family estate than sell out on my morals, values, and ethics. I cannot be bought. And there are people out here on this platform that know I can't be bought. And there's nothing more that triggers me than people that think anyone can be bought. You cannot fucking buy me. Because if I sold out like most people would over shit like this, then calling my organization the Genuine Networking Association would be a flat out lie. There would be no point. It would dissolve itself. It would dissolve itself. Let me see. Give me a second, I'll be right back. All right, we are back live. I'm sorry. I had to respond to a text real quick from someone that can bypass my do not disturb list. I've always believed in treat people the way you want to be treated. I've always believed in morals, values, and ethics. I've always put myself in other people's shoes so I can understand, or try to understand as best as possible, how they're feeling and how I would feel if I was in that situation. And just because I'm fortunate to not be in that situation doesn't mean that I should have special privileges above every other, or my family, or we're family, so it affects all of us and it helps all of us, right? Because we're a family, we're a unit. Doesn't mean that we should be entitled to special privileges because we're in an elite group of people in the upper class, or at least upper middle class, if not upper class. I'm a big advocate against special privileges for any class. I don't even want to consider myself being upper class or upper middle class. I don't want to consider myself any class. I don't think we should even have classifications. I just don't understand why everyone can't be looked upon equally and everyone, be treated equally when it comes to tax breaks and stuff like that. See, here's the thing. People that have money, this is my opinion, okay? I'm not a financial advisor. I do still have a property and casualty and life and health license here in the state of California, but I'm not actively selling. My licenses are active, but I'm not actively selling. But I forgot what I was going to say. I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought. I was so into this, I lost my train of thought. I was saying something to the extent that people shouldn't have special privileges. When it comes to tax breaks and other laws, again, this is what I was going to say, we should all be treated equally. Everyone should have the same fair opportunity. Oh, this is what I was going to say, and I remember exactly. I'm not a financial advisor. This is not not financial advice. This is my opinion. But do you realize the people that have a lot of money can make larger, riskier investments? And if they lose that money in that investment, it doesn't affect them. But if they get lucky and triple that investment, then they triple their income. There are people out here that have made risky investments with their life savings, and they were assured that it was going to pay out, and then they lost everything. People in that position don't have the same privilege that people that have a lot of disposable money have, right? People with disposable money can play with their money to make money. And here's the thing, when you have so much money, even if you make 2 bad, risky investments, you still can make 2 more risky investments, make your money back that you lost, and then some, even at that point. For someone that has minimal money, 1 risky investment can put them under. So honestly, how fair is it? The rich get richer, and the poor get poorer. And the middle class is paying for everything. The middle class is paying more taxes that the upper class isn't paying, and then the lower class that's on government assistance is being funded by the middle class tax dollars. Sure, part of that comes out of the upper class's tax dollars as well, but we're paying less taxes. Now, depending on the situation, for me, I'm independent of the estate right now. I pay my own individual taxes. I'm talking about when it comes to estate taxes and all that, when it comes to all that stuff, the people with money are going to have more options, more benefits with Trump in office. And I could sit there and be selfish and say, hey, even though I can't stand Trump and I voted for Harris, and even though him being in office would benefit me in this way, I still don't feel right about it because I have morals, values, and ethics, and I won't sell my soul out. And that's what makes me happy. That's what defines who I am. That's what defines who I am. Excuse me. You know, I really appreciate the 34 people that are here. We had over 40 earlier. Thank you so much. You know, regardless of where you're coming from, regardless of whatever reason you're watching, thank you for watching. I appreciate you. I did the full trail today. That's 3.5 miles. Happiness is a choice. You can choose to be happy, or you can choose to be fucking miserable. I choose to be happy. Now, do I have my moments? Sure. When I come on these shows, just because I'm speaking with conviction and passion, and some of you may think I'm pissed off or frustrated. No, this is passion. This is conviction. This is what I truly enjoy doing. I'm very happy. If I wasn't happy doing this, I wouldn't keep doing it after 6.5 years. For whatever reason, whether I've made money or not, which I haven't made a whole lot of money doing this, but yes, I hope to one day, and I hope to continue building the GNA and taking this to where I feel it needs to go and should go. But thank you to everyone that's tuned in, whether you're chatting or not. It is a choice to be happy. And you should choose to be happy as much as possible. I understand that we're all going to have moments like I mentioned at the beginning of the show. Right? We're going to have moments where we're going to feel sad, lonely, miserable, right? And that's normal to a certain extent. But like I mentioned at the beginning of the show, it all depends on how quickly you learn from it and snap out of it, right? The quicker you learn from your mistakes that are making you miserable and lonely, and the quicker you snap out of them back into happiness, okay, the better that's going to be, the better that will be for your overall mental and emotional health, spiritual health, attitude, and continuing a positive and happy lifestyle. A positive and happy lifestyle doesn't mean you're going to be 100% happy all day, every day. It means you're going to be happy 95% of the time. No one's perfect, and no one's saying that if you're not happy 100% of the time, that you're abnormal or there's something wrong. No. We all have our moments, but you should strive to be happy 90 to 95% of the time. And the other 5 to 10% that you're not happy, strive to figure out what's causing your misery. Resolve it, overcome it, and move on. And bring back your happiness. Bring back your positive and happy state of mind. There are some people coming. I'm going to wait up a second here. Man, I got to say, it's just an absolutely beautiful, beautiful night. It's a beautiful, beautiful night. I'm telling you, today has been a wonderful day because there hasn't been a whole lot to do. And Don and I spent some time this morning. We spent time last night watching. I'm going to wait for this woman to pass on by. Don and I spent a lot of time watching shows last night, spending time with the dogs. The dogs are doing really well. I can't wait to show them on the camera again. Oh, another story I'll share with you folks. Most of you that have been around for a while know that I inherited my girlfriend's 2 dogs when she moved in a few years ago. One's Bochi and one's Buster. Bochi is like a 44-pound. He's like a half pit, like half terrier. He kind of looks like a brighter version of a golden retriever, but I mean he kind of looks like an orange version of a German Shepherd, or like a brownish, orangish brownish tint of a German Shepherd. Strong dog, right? But then we have this Dachshund named Buster. And this little dog, he was 13 pounds when he moved in and when I met Dawn. And we've been feeding them well, taking care of them. That when I took Bochi and Buster in for their rabies shot renewals at Petco a few months ago, earlier this year, and they got renewed for 3 years. And then we needed to do that to renew their animal licenses. But when I took them in, they were telling me that, I forgot what they were telling me. There was some rule where if the dog is under 15 pounds, they can't do it on the same day or something like that. I think there was some rule. And I was like, okay, I'm going to have to reschedule Buster. But they put Buster on the scale, and Buster had gained 2 pounds. Because Buster, like, when he moved in, he was in good shape, but he just started getting a little bit bigger and ripped. Like, he's not fat. He's this little tiny Dachshund, or Dachshund, sorry, Dachshund. Dachshund is what they call him, right? And this little dog is strong as hell. He's like one of those dudes that has the short man's complex, but that they can whoop some, you know what? They could whoop some butt, right? And then yesterday, Don has a lot of toys for the dogs. And one of the toys is a tug of war, string, right? So Buster, when he sees the tug of war thing, he goes down to the ground and grabs it. And if you try to grab it for him, he tries to run with it, right? So Buster took one side of the tug of war rope. I grabbed the other side. I'm like 175 pounds. This little dog, 15 pounds, is literally pulling and almost takes me down. That's how strong these dogs are. You gotta understand, dogs have very powerful jaws. Even the little dog with a little small, he's got a little small mouth. If that dude bites you, it's gonna hurt. Now, it wouldn't be as bad as the bigger dog, but it would still hurt. And he's still strong. Like, the dude almost took, we caught it off guard, but he gave me a good run for my money, and I'm 175 pounds. 15-pound dog. He's strong as hell. He's ripped. Buster is in really good shape. So is Bochi's in great shape. But Buster, the reason why I emphasize on him is because he's a little tiny dog, and he'll go up to Bochi, and they'll play fight, right? Like, he tries to antagonize Bochi. And if Bochi wanted to eat Buster, he could eat Buster for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. He'd probably eat him all by the end of breakfast. But Bochi loves his little half brother, or his little step brother, however you want to call it, right? They're like brothers, right? They love each other. But Buster sits there and antagonizes the dog that's 3 times his size. I'm like, whoa, man. And we love him. We're all family. One of these days, we got to take some video in 4K at 60 frames per second with them playing. I think it would be really, really a cool video. Let us know in the comments section if you're not here live and not chatting, if you would like to see that. Maybe we'll create some members-only content regarding that. It's just a beautiful night. Folks, get your final questions, comments, concerns in the chat. We're going to be going off the air very soon. Probably in about 5 minutes or so. The sun's starting to go down, so the sun's going to be setting within the next 20 minutes or so. Yeah, today's been a fantastic, fantastic day. No stress today. No deadlines to reach. No appointments to get to by a certain time. You know, folks, every now and then, you just gotta sit back, step back, and chill out. They call it chill the fuck out, right? Every now and then, we all need to chill the fuck out. That's what I'm doing today. I'm chilling the fuck out. Because I need to. I need to get rest, which I got a lot of rest last night. I'm going to get more rest all weekend. Called resting and recouping. Rest and recoup, right? Because every one of us is always going to have weeks that are, let me wait for these people to pass. All right. They're not moving, so I'm going to go. Every one of us is going to have slow weeks and very busy weeks where one thing after the other happens, right? But you have to always find time to rest and recoup. Even if you have a lot going on over the period of a month, in between, you still need to find time to rest and recoup. Whoa. I almost tripped over grass that was cut by a John Deere. Look at this. Look at how deep that is right there. And because it's wet, it's okay. We're all good. Whenever I start to trip, I always can feel it, and I can typically correct my movement from falling, which is what I do. You've seen it happen many times on the show here. I can't always look exactly at the ground. Hey, Brad. Hey, Eli and Chad. How are you, Brad, how are you, Brad? About to go off the air in a few minutes here, man. How's your weekend going? Hope all is well. But yeah, there's no better feeling than resting, relaxing, and recouping, especially after you've worked really hard for a long period of time and you've gotten a lot accomplished. That feeling of accomplishment is amazing. There's no better feeling than feeling accomplished. Let's come over here for a few minutes. Let's come over to the marina. We are at 82 minutes. That's an hour and 22 minutes. Brad says, not too bad. I got some Chinese food and a big slice of cake for dinner tonight. That sounds good, bro. What kind of cake, man? My favorite cake is white cake with buttercream filling. Like maybe rum spongy white cake with buttercream buttercream filling. Now, buttercream filling is one of the most fattening foods on the planet. And it tastes so good, and you could eat so much of it, and it tastes good. And then 20 minutes later, you feel like you're in a food coma. You feel like I'm done for the night. Or you're going to be praying to the porcelain god. You know what the porcelain god is, right, Brad? I've prayed to the porcelain god a few times in my life. It's been a while, and I hope it's something that'll never happen again. Yellow cake with white icing. I friggin' love it. Yeah. Oh, that's good too. Yellow cake, yeah. Well, also, what Don and I like, we like lemon filling. Lemon filling is fantastic. And, as part of, Don's recovery process of having been malnourished, and she's gained some weight. I'm not gonna get exactly into it right now. I will at some point, but Dawn loves lemon Oreos. I didn't even know Oreos had different flavors until I started looking at some snacks that Dawn could eat along with the healthy stuff. Because we have the nutritionist, and while they prefer between the nutritionist and Don's primary care physician, they prefer the healthy meals, which is what we're eating for the most part. But they said initially And even for a little while longer, if she's going to eat some sweets to gain some weight, that's fine. But at some point, you got to moderate it. So Dawn loves, I didn't even realize they have lemon Oreos and they also have mint Oreos. I love the mint Oreos. I love the lemon ones. We also have Fig Newtons and Strawberry Newtons. Those are damn good. My dad got me hooked on Fig Newtons when I was younger. But another thing I saw on Amazon and I ordered them, they're very expensive. Like you can get a pack of 36 Oreos for like just over $5. That's called like the party pack. But Oreo also makes actually it's Nabisco. They make maple Oreos, but they're made in Canada. And in Canada, see, the Nabisco stands for National Biscuit Company. Remember growing up, you'd hear those commercials that would say, Nabisco ting. They had that little logo, right? Brad says, I never got into Fig Newtons, but I want to try strawberries. Oh, they're fantastic, dude. And I'll tell you, they're hard to find. Like, I ordered them. You can order them from Amazon. They might be available in your area. If not, try Target. Target has them. Either Target or Walmart. Check all those. But in Canada, they make maple Oreos because Canada is known for having the most maple trees, and that's where maple syrup comes from, right? Canada has like over 90% of the maple trees, on the planet to make maple syrup. So they make maple Oreos in Canada, and they are imported here in the U.S., and Amazon sells them here. But you know what the cost is? The cost is like $9, almost $10 for 18 of them. So you can get 36 of the Oreos that are made here for just over $5, and you get half as many for almost twice the price of the maple ones because they're imported. Yeah, but dude, let me tell you something. You like maple syrup? You like pancakes and waffles with maple syrup and whipped cream, right? If you like maple syrup, and I'm sure people from Canada can agree to this, or if you've tried the maple Oreos, they're the best damn Oreos I've had. They're made by in Canada. The company that makes them is a subsidiary of Nabisco. It's called the Christie Company. The Christie Company was bought out by Nabisco a long decades and decades and decades ago. I read the story, but they kept the name Christie because it's a known brand in Canada. Basically, you see the same logo as Nabisco, the red triangle on the corner, right? But it says Christie because that's basically the Nabisco brand in Canada, same company, right? The maple Oreos, not only is it a maple cream filling in the center, but they have maple syrup baked into the actual cookie. So look, I'll tell you, dude, they're expensive. Order one from Amazon. You should be able to get them. Order an 18 pack of I definitely tried. I haven't met an Oreo cookie that I haven't liked yet. Dude, I'm telling you, man. Like I was crazy, man. I bought 5 packs of the maple ones because we still have 3 packs of them, and we bought them like a couple months ago. I stock up on stuff so I don't have to buy stuff all the time. But I bought that many because whenever I just buy 1 or 2, even though Dawn says, I probably won't like it, I know she'll like it, and then she'll eat it, and I won't have any for myself. At least now, because she's starting to eat a lot again. So they're damn good, bro. They're damn good. Yeah, I gotta tell you, man. I love coming out here. I love coming out here. Yeah, folks, let's try this again. Get your final questions, comments, and concerns. in the chat. We're going to be going off the air in just a few minutes. Excuse me. Hitting the water today? Make sure you and everyone on board are wearing a properly fitted U.S. Coast Guard approved life jacket. Follow the QR code to learn how to be prepared, avoid fines, save our waterways, and most importantly, save the ones you love. And save the ones you love. Forget about the fines. I mean, anyone would pay any amount of money to bring someone back to life that drowned. Save our waterways, which is a given thing. Protect our water from being polluted. But most importantly, yeah, if you're going to go out on the water, make sure you spend whatever money you need to spend to have the best life jacket possible. A Coast Guard approved. Perfect. We are at 91 minutes an hour and 31 minutes. Thank you to the 43 people that are here right now. I'm going to wrap up the show today by saying, Don and I, along with the other GNA executives, which right now are Tia and Sandra, and then we're hoping to bring on ambassadors in every area. And I'm going to have on the website how to qualify to be an ambassador. I have a lot of stuff. I still have most of the older January Networking Association.org website up. And I have a lot of, I have most of the stuff from the days where we ran in-person events, including the leadership team. The leadership team has changed, even though most of the people that are on the leadership team on the website right now are still a part of the organization, but they're not in the leadership role at this time. So we're going to change all that, and I've got some forms I just need to change up a little bit, and put out the ambassador program, and basically put out if you want to become an ambassador of the GNA. Here's what it entails, right? And once we get a certain amount of people, we might end up running events all over the world, in person, and also online. This vision is way bigger than myself. Like this vision is one that I hope to unite as many people from all around the world as possible, because I'll tell you this, at least here in the U.S., we're very divided. And also a lot of the world's divided too. And the bottom line is, man, there should be no division at all. We should all be getting along and supporting each other and being happy to be alive and just preaching positivity, That's my vision, that's my goal, that's my purpose, that's my passion. I love all of you. Whether you love me or not, I still have love for you. Whether you wish the best for me or not, I still wish the best for you. Time to go, folks. 94 minutes. An hour and 34 minutes. With that being said, have a good one. Take care. And as always, be good to each other. Good night. See you all tomorrow. I'll be back tomorrow.